Marissa and I'm with Knoxville Lice Clinic. Today we're going to be going over how to do a comb out. This is our mannequin head Violet. She's going to be assisting me today. First I'm going to run through some of the tools that we use in an everyday comb out. The most important thing obviously is our comb here. We have our own branded Knoxville Lice Clinic comb. This comb is important because the tines are much closer together and they have spirals engraved on them. This comb will pick up stuff that your normal comb won't. This comb actually comes in two sizes. We have extra fine and original. Original is what we use for most people. Extra fine is good for babies, toddlers, people with very, very fine hair. Violet here has normal adult hair, so we would use our original style comb. Then we have obviously a brush. We have a rat tail comb used for parting. And we have alligator clips. We like these alligator clips because they bend in the middle. This means that no matter how much hair the person has, you can always keep it up. That's very important. All of these things you can buy on our online store. We also have Slippery Nit Mousse. This is really good for if the person has a large knit load or a tender scalp. It makes the eggs slide right off when you're combing. It's not necessary, but it is helpful. Now to start, we're just going to brush our hair, make sure that we get all the tangles out. Another important step here is putting your own hair up. When doing a comb out, make sure that your hair is tied up in a bun. You can use a shower cap or something like that as well to make sure it's covered. Then we're going to take our rat tail comb and put it in the middle of her forehead and bring it all the way back. The easiest way to do this is to put your finger in the back where you want it to end, touch the comb to your finger, and then pull it down. Then you can slide your finger up the comb and you come out with a nice straight part line there. Then we're just going to use a clip to keep this pulled to the side so that it doesn't mix with our other hair. Then we're going to make another part from the crown of the head to just behind the ear. Dividing the hair up into 4 sections is helpful because it gives you a little bit less to work with in each section. It's a good divider that way. And also it's easier to comb the hair in different ways based on which part of the head you're on. So again, we put the tip of the comb at the part line, put my finger behind her ear. This is also important so I don't stab her in the ear. Bring the comb down to my finger, pull it down, run my finger up the comb, and we have another nice straight part line here. We're just going to put this up. Make sure it doesn't get mixed up with our other sections. Having a tight part is good on that. That way we're not going to have any hair bubbling over, so I can't catch it with the comb and pull her hair out. Now normally for a real person I would use the Terminator comb. Violet has plastic roots however, and her hair likes to fall out, so I'm going to be using one of our green plastic combs for her. To make the part line for the actual combing, same idea. You put it on one side, put your finger where you want it to go, pull it across, and then we just slide it all the way up. The important things to remember for making sections is that you want your section to be smaller than the actual comb length. That way you can make sure that you're getting all of it. This is important later on as well because you're going to want to have a nice overlap. So, start in the middle where the part is. Hold the hair out, put the tines against her skin, and try to get the comb as flat as possible. On the bottom, this is also important because you see these little squiggly lines here? Those are baby hairs. We want to make sure that we're also combing the baby hairs. Then pull this straight out. And what we do here at Knoxville Lice Clinic is we put it over a red Solo cup full of water and we just scrape our fingernail along the comb. By doing that, anything in her hair is going to fall out into the cup of water. That means you're not going to end up with bugs or eggs all over your floor. You can just pour it right down the sink when you're done. Now if our first one was right here, our second one is going to be a little bit over from that. We do want to have some overlap to make sure that we are getting every single knit. So again, put the comb against her skin, hold the hair out, slide it down as flat as you can get it, pull it all the way down, flick it over the cup. Now, we also want to go in from the edge of the hairline here. So we're going to put it against her skin, make it as flat as possible, pull it all the way down, flick it out. Some important things to remember is to put it in against her skin, make sure it's very flat, but holding the hair out is super important. If you just slide it against it like this, you're missing some nits there. It's going to make your successive comb outs more difficult. Whereas if you just have the right technique the first time through, it makes the whole rest of your combing experience much easier. To take the next section down, again, we want the sections to be not as long as the actual comb. So we're going to put it over here, go across, pull it through, good part line, clip it up tight so that we can see that part line. Same idea, put it against her skin, push it all the way down. Now you can see here that we've overlapped pretty good. This way we're not going to end up with random lines of nits all over the head. We want to make sure that that overlap is there so we can get absolutely everything. Again, move it over a little bit, making sure you're getting that overlap. All the way down. And then again, in from the part line on the side. Now, if you do get it caught, some people have curly hair that tangles easily. What we do for that is we take our little rat tail comb and we comb the knots off on the actual comb itself. That way you're not ripping your child's hair out, you're not creating more split ends. It's gonna hurt them a lot less if you can just comb those knots out right here and then proceed to pull it through. The other place that it's important to make sure that you're getting a good overlap is right here for this part line. If we've gone through and combed out all of this, we're going to move on to the next section and comb over the ear. Over the ear is a very sensitive spot for people. Of course, that also means that it's a place where a lot of nits like to hang out at. So make sure that you have it nice and knot free. And then we take a section over the ear. If you have a child with a tender head, this is a really good spot to use that mousse. Now to use the mousse, you're just going to want to saturate the hair with it. We spray it on directly at the roots there. And then I normally take that rat tail comb and comb it through. That way you can make sure it's nice and saturated. It'll help the nits come out a lot easier. Now, make sure that you're overlapping right here at that part line. Go down, make sure you don't stab them in the ear. Pull it all the way through, flick it out. Sometimes if someone has a piercing in their ear, this can get caught right there. So you can go underneath the hair above the ear and come up. That way you can make sure you're not ripping out anyone's cartilage piercings. Again, make sure you have a good overlap going on all of those. Now different people have varying lengths of sideburns, so you're going to want to make sure that you go in from the face right there to get all of those as well. And then it's the same process. Let another section of hair down. Of course mine's going to fall right now. Clip it up, and then go through the same process. And the very last step that you're want to make sure you do is to go in from the hairline again around the face, because that's where it's very noticeable when you leave nits. You don't want your child to get sent home from school or made fun of by friends because you miss nits around the face. Another spot to make sure you get is the hairline. We start brushing that part backwards and go in sections, making sure that you get the whole thing. And it got a little knotted up, so we're going to use that rat tail comb to make sure that we can get the knots out without pulling her hair. Now, if you're just doing a head check, you can comb through the head once and you're good to go. If you are going to do this for part of an at-home treatment, make sure that you do this whole combing set every day until you go 4 days without seeing a nit. It's very important that you go 4 days without seeing a nit because nits can be laid directly at the scalp. It takes time for the hair to grow out long enough that you can fit the comb underneath it. Repeated combing for much longer than you actually want to be doing it is very, very important to make sure you completely get rid of head lice. Now, doing the parts different every day helps. You're never going to part it in exactly the same spot. That overlap and parting it a little differently every day means that you are going to get every single nit out. This generally takes about 30 minutes to do a full comb out for somebody like me. I do this every day though. It might take you closer to 45 minutes your first couple times. You will get better at it. It will go faster. And if you have any questions, you can always call us. Thanks.